What is up YouTube? James back here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Back Battles. Today we have the Accelgor team with Tapu, Lele, Charizard-Y, Landorus, and Mimikyu, and Snorlax. Once again, the team that I used to get 3rd place at the Roanoke Regional Championship. And we're going to be playing some more games with it. And now, yeah, otherwise, if you are waiting for this team's EV spreads, it will be coming out tomorrow. As I tried to get it out today actually, but the problem was today, what happened was I was editing the video and then my editing software ended up crashing multiple times throughout. Luckily the progress wasn't deleted, but it was just annoying that it just randomly kept closing. I had to reopen the program and then I would go in, a few seconds later it would crash again, and I'm like, really? But anyway, yeah. Otherwise we have looks like we got our new team. Our opponent bringing the Incineroar, Tapu Fini, Landorus, Zapdos, Metagross, and Amoonguss. So this is a matchup I did play at the Regional Championship. I was able to win Game 1 with the Accelgor Charizard mode. Game 2 I lost with the combination, and then Game 3 it came down to adaptation. I brought the Mimilax mode. So I don't know what he would do in a best of 1 scenario. I feel like the best lead against this team is you bring Fini because you need something that can handle the Zapdos. I think you go Zapdos and Incineroar as the lead. That's what my opponent did. It was a pretty strong lead against my team. So I'm thinking maybe just go to Mimikyu Snorlax mode here. I'm not sure if you're going to bring Amoonguss, but if you do, good on you. But I think that's the best way I can handle it. I do like Landorus in the back, and Charizard just threatens my opponent, especially if you bring Amoonguss, because you probably bring Metagross in this matchup. It's your best answer to Lele. Actually, you probably don't bring Metagross in this matchup because of the fact that you don't bring Metagross in this matchup because of the fact that you probably want Incineroar to handle the Lele, because you want Incineroar. I think you want Landorus. You want Fini, and I'm pretty sure you want Zapdos, but you might bring Amoonguss over the Landorus just because I feel like it might be, more beneficial to stop the Trick Room. So let's see here. We're going to go Mimikyu Snorlax here, as what are we going to see from my opponent? It's going to be the Landorus Zapdos. So this looks pretty good for us. The questions are what kind of sets these are, because we have no idea what sets my opponent is running. I could easily just go for a taunt in his Zapdos, I feel like. I could easily just go for the Trick Room as well, attempt it, but I don't feel like that's worth it right off the bat. I think going for the taunt is fine in the Zapdos. The reason why I think taunt is fine into the Zapdos is because if there is a roar on Zapdos, and I think Belly Drum is a fine play here, because there's nothing that can really capitalize from my opponent here. It looks like my opponent's going to stay in with both, which is fine. We're going to see the Earthquake just come out, which is okay here. Alright, Earthquake just going to come out, trying to get as much damage, I guess, into the Snorlax as possible. And what is Zapdos going to do, I guess, is the question. Is it actually going to go for Roar, or is it like a Thunderbolt? Yeah, it is a Roar, actually, so I'm really glad I was able to catch that, because catching that Roar is absolutely huge here, as I will be able to just Belly Drum up, eat my berry, and we're gonna see the Roar fail because I did go for taunt. So I'm really glad I went for the taunt. It just was a suspicion for me, and luckily I was correct. So we do learn that the Landorus is actually a slow variant. So I wonder if it's Z-move or if it's an Assault Vest. Both options are definitely possible. I do want to get rid of the Zapdos because it can't protect. I did so much damage to it. I think I'm going to attempt just to go for the Z Destiny Bond right here and just fire a return into Zapdos. I feel like this is the best play possible, because if you try to Tectonic Rage my Snorlax, for instance, I'll absorb the Tectonic Rage. If you go for Earthquake Thunderbolt, Mimikyu will be able to go down. I trade the Zapdos, and then Snorlax gets returned, redirected into the Landorus. If we're going to see the switch out, that's fine. I get a free KO here. Except if it's Metagross, which, I don't mind too much here. So Metagross is going to come out. And let's see, if it is a Ground EMZ coming out from this Landorus, I'm very happy about my position regardless, because of the fact that I did redirect it. If it's Earthquake, it's not the end of the world, but it's not exactly the most desirable situation here. We will Z Dusting Bond, and let's find out what this Landorus decided to lock itself into. Maybe a Rock Slide, trying to prevent Trick Room. But it looks like it will be that Z move. So regardless, that is going to be redirected to Mimikyu. Mimikyu is going to go down, and then I get a huge amount of damage into the Metagross. So no matter what, I guess that's a good turn for me regardless. So Tectonic Rage going to come out into my Mimikyu, and that is absolutely fine by me. Yeah, I'll happily trade Mimikyu for the Landorus, because getting rid of Landorus, I think is a pretty worth it trade right there, as I'm going to get a huge amount of damage into this Metagross, so even if it's bulky Metagross, I'll be able to guarantee knock it out with like Earthquake for my own Landers, as well as, I guess Heat Wave was going to knock out the Metagross anyway for my Charizard. I guess I could have recycled there, but I rather, you know, if I could catch the Zapdos or a double knockout right there, if Zapdos attacked, I was fine, especially if Incineroar decided to come in. Definitely want to get rid of Incineroar. I'll go in Charizard here because it does pressure the Metagross as well as the Zapdos, so let's see what my opponent's going to bring out here. Will be the Incineroar coming out from my opponent's side, which is fine. My opponent's in a very, very tough situation here, and my opponent, I would probably just... There are a few things you could do. I think the main thing I would do if I was my opponent would just be fake out the Charizard and probably attempt to Iron Head flinch the Snorlax. I could see doubling up my Charizard here, which would be okay, I think, for me. I think I'm just going to go for the Heat Wave and Protect here. The question is, do you Mega Evolve with Metagross? Because you probably assume I have Landers in the back. So you might decide not to Mega Evolve with Metagross, but then again, the damage output would be a little bit poor. You might need the extra damage on Charizard, for instance. But we're going to see the Metagross Mega Evolve, so I can always just switch out on the Landers the following turn, which I do not mind, as Metagross will Mega Evolve. Let's see if my opponent makes the call and double targets my Charizard, or just goes for the fake out on the Charizard. I don't want to risk Iron Head here into... fake Flare Blitz Iron Head into my Snorlax. Do get a Heat Wave off. I didn't Mega Evolve, by the way, because I don't want to increase the Incineroar's damage output of going for Flare Blitz, because it could actually be a huge deal, as we will be able to get rid of the Metagross there. Flare Blitz is going to double target my Snorlax, so really good for me here, as Zapdos is going to come out. And Zapdoses don't tend to carry Protect, so I should just be able to get a return off into the Zapdos, and I think I'll just go hard in the Landers here. Don't see a reason not to. I would live the Flare Blitz plus Thunderbolt, unless... yeah, if it was a Gigavolt Havoc Zapdos, but of course the Gigavolt Havoc, the Z move was used up earlier with the Groundium Z, so I can just go for a switch in the Landers right here and fire off a return into the Zapdos. And yeah, I don't think my opponent can really beat my Landers anyway, because Landers should just be able to clean up this game, I think, but who knows. My opponent could always get crits right here, so let's see, we'll get Intimidate off. But if there are no crits, I'd probably just survive a double attack, Thunderbolt with Flare Blitz. Yep, Thunderbolt going to come out into the Snorlax. Doesn't really do much. Flare Blitz is going to come out. And since that is Intimidated, I will be able to survive that. Unless there's a critical hit, of course. And it looks like no critical hit, no burn. It looks like Eater, which is nice, because I'll be able to guarantee knockout to Zapdos, which is excellent. And yeah, that Incineroar, that's game, because now I can Tectonic Rage. Even if there was a crit right there, I'd still be able to Tectonic Rage the Incineroar the following turn, and then just go for Heat Waves. It's really rare Incineroar's carry Protect, especially on this team. Oh wait, I don't have Tectonic Rage, right? I guess that could have been a bit more interesting then. Yeah, I can just go for Rock Tomb in return, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Lander should be able to win the game regardless, and Incineroar can only target one Pokemon at a time. So yeah, there really wasn't much my opponent could have done. I think my opponent needed either a paralysis or a critical hit right there. Rock Tomb will come out into the Incineroar. Do a good amount of damage. This Flare Blitz probably just going to come out right here. Yep. Target out my Snorlax. That should be able to pick up the knockout. I could have also made the play of maybe like switching out Charizard. Switching out Landers into Charizard, protecting Snorlax, and then, you know, Intimidate, rotate, switch out Charizard again into Landers, and then just return. But like at this point, Landers should just be able to win the game. And to go out in a Charizard, I'll just regular Heat Wave and Earthquake, just in case. Either way, this game's over. If you Flare Blitz the, yeah, because, well, I don't need extra animations. I don't need extra animations. That the match is just gonna be forfeit anyway, because Earthquake damage guaranteed put him in the range of Flare Blitz recoil, and the only way he can knock out my Landers variant is with a Flare Blitz crit. So no matter what, I had the game sealed up. No matter what. As you saw there was no Amoonguss. It's really hard because Amoonguss is pretty bad against Lele, the Charizard mode, which is something already that team kind of struggles with, is Charizard. So probably didn't want to bring Amoonguss. You brought Metagross because you wanted an answer to Lele, because Lele could be difficult, as well as the Lele Accelgor mode, because it kind of will handle the Lele Accelgor mode because of the fact it's immune to Acid Spray. It's not immune to Final Gambit, however, so that is an option I did have if if I had brought the Accelgor. But it really just comes down to mind games. I feel like Mimilax is the best mode if you predict your opponent not to bring Amoonguss, and I don't think you bring Amoonguss against me, at least in a game 1 situation, but my opponent definitely could have. So as we got our second opponent, Tapu Master from Japan, 15-17 rating, with the team of Charizard, Metagross, Incineroar, Landisfarne, Gastrodon, and Nihilego. Double fire, double ground, double mega. Huh. And double flying, I guess. But we don't really use Landorus as flying type. Well, we don't use Charizard. Well, there has been Air Slash Charizard, but we don't really use it for flying coverage often. This one's interesting. I can't tell who's going to be like Scarf on the team, for instance. Landorus, I would assume, would be Scarf. I think I would go to Mimilax mode here. Lele doesn't do great in this matchup. It only hits the Nihilego, really. Otherwise, pretty much doesn't like dealing with Metagross. Doesn't like deal with Incineroar well. Gastrodon, I guess it can do damage, but it's not really worth it. I think I'll go Mimilax here. And this is a game, I guess, where Mimilax can shine. It really just comes down to sus, I think. Do I bring Charizard? I think I bring Charizard. It's tricky. I don't really want to bring Charizard, but it's my best answer to the Metagross on my opponent's side. As well as the Gastrodon in case it gets a little bit out of hand if it's like a Clear Smog variant, and I'll bring Landorus. Because Accelgor or Lele I don't think really does that well against my opponent's team, so I might as well just bring it. I do have to conserve Snorlax because Snorlax is my only way to really beat down my opponent's Nihilego effectively. Otherwise I have to guarantee Trick Room up and get Tectonic Rage off into that Nihilego. So let's see what my opponent's going to bring out. Going to be the Metagross Charizard lead. Anyone else confused? Because this is not something I expect. Oh boy. What am I supposed to expect from this lead? I don't know if I even want a Belly Drum because Belly Drum's risky. What if this is Scarf Metagross? I'm gonna Z Destiny Bond right here. And return. Is this like a legendary Scarf Metagross? We'll find out. I'm gonna Z Destiny Bond and return here, as we do see the Charizard-Y, so it's either not Mega Metagross or my opponent just decided to lead Charizard. This is just such a weird game already. This is already such a weird game. But I'm gonna Z Destiny Bond because I think it is worth it here. I don't need Tectonic Rage as much in this game if I set up Snorlax correctly, but still. He is gonna come out. Mimikyu actually avoids, which I'm not sure if I'm that happy about. Because, you know, Metagross's attack was going to be redirected to Mimikyu anyway, so we would have probably just seen Metagross go down there, and I would have happily got rid of the Metagross there. But, oh well, go for the Destiny Bond, I guess. Let's see what the Metagross is going for. The Siren Head? It's all out pummeling, isn't it? That works too, I guess. That works too. Okay. So my Mimikyu gets off scot-free, I guess. Get a return off into the Charizard. Ooh, that's not big damage. That was actually a little bit disappointing. You definitely brought Nihilego in the back, and I'm guessing Incineroar would be your last Pokemon. I think those two are the best against my team. Huh. The question is, do I want a Trick Room? Because if I Trick Room, the Metagross could be a little bit scary to handle. I think Trick Room is fine, though. And going for a return in the Zard again. I do need damage in the Zard, which is why I'm going for these returns. Overheat gonna come out. Oh boy, that's gonna do a lot. Why did you target my Mimikyu, though? Was that a misclick? I completely forgot. Hammer Arm's gonna come out. Okay. Is this KO? No, it doesn't. Oh, but it gets a speed drop. Well, I kind of need... no matter what, I do need Snorlax alive in order to beat down the Nihilego, but still. Return into the Charizard. And Trick Room goes up. Okay. I guess the question is, do you go for Iron Head now? I know my Mimikyu underspeeds the Charizard. I'm not sure. I think Protect from Charizard, because I don't think you want to give up Charizard that easily, and you could go for Iron Head and Mimikyu, for instance, or you could attempt to go for another Hammer Arm. I think the best play here is just to recycle with Snorlax and Shadow Claw to Charizard, because, yeah, okay, we're gonna see the switch out actually into Incineroar. Okay, that is fine. Pretty sure that's fine at least. We'll be able to cycle here. So, what is my opponent going for then? Iron Head? Oh, just going for Hammer Arm again. Okay. I do survive. And I'm going to be able to eat my berry back. I need Snorlax around. I don't wish I reversed Trick Room now, because I think I could have reversed Trick Room too. Crit the Incineroar, which shouldn't matter too much. I don't know if you double up my Snorlax, that's definitely a potential option, but I think I'm going to Trick Room here, and I'm going to switch in Landorus. Yeah, I think that's a play here, because I'm not sure if you're going to double into Snorlax. If we go double into Snorlax, I'm not going to lose my Landorus, so that's at least a good thing here. And two, I need my Snorlax for Nihilego. That's my only answer to Nihilego. I have to keep it around. I'll just go out into Landorus, because Flare Blitz, if you decide to Flare Blitz my Mimikyu, it's not going to be able to pick up the knockout, I believe, even in the sun. Hammer Arm just going to come out again, which is fine. And if I reverse Trick Room here, I'm in a decent spot, so not too bad. Flare Blitz going to come out. Who is it targeting? It is targeting now. I think my Mimikyu slot. Yeah, so this should survive. Or not. A little bit disappointed. A little disappointed. I could go Charizard though. I guess I just click Heat Wave here. I think you might try to double up my Landorus at this point. Just Mega Evolve Heat Wave. And although this is the last turn of Sun, and I might want Sun. I mean, Heat Wave damage doesn't really matter on Incineroar if I'm going for the Earthquake play anyway. Unless this Metagross has Zen Headbutt, but I don't think it has room in its move pool. I also really don't want Ice Punch coming out for this Metagross if it actually has coverage. So we'll find out here. It's going to be Ice Punch coming out into the Landorus, that's good. And a Flare Blitz probably just targeting my Charizard. Okay, that's going to hurt a lot though. That will hurt a lot. Actually, that did a lot less than I thought. Oh yeah, because of the Intimidate from Landorus, right. Heat Wave does connect with the Metagross that should be able to pick up the knockout in this Harsh Sun. Yeah, okay, perfect. Not a bad turn there. And Incineroar looks like it's just out of its berry range, which is excellent. Sun fades, and I can reset it later, so that's great. As we will see what's going to come out here. Nihilego is your last Pokemon. You might bring out your Charizard here. Oh, Landorus. No Nihilego? That's really questionable. I also don't know if this is Scarf Landorus. That's a big question if it's Scarf Landorus or not. I think the play is... I need my Landorus around, I think. I'll go Snorlax here. You're probably just gonna Rock Slide. I mean, if you send a... I don't know if this means it's Scarf Landorus, because I feel like if you go Charizard, you can at least protect. Because you don't know what my Landorus is, but you should know it's not Scarf, because you should assume the Lele Scarf on this team. We're gonna see the Flare Blitz come out, target down my Snorlax, which is fine. Not sure if Snorlax will live a Rock Slide. If it can live a Rock Slide, that's decent. Oh, it's a Salt Vest Incineroar, it looks like. Rock Slide does come out, which is fine. Snorlax actually survives it, which is good. Trick Room returns to normal. Oh man, it really comes down to if it's Scarf Landorus. I feel like you would go Charizard there, though. Maybe you're scared of me going for Tailwind? There's so many options, I guess. It might be worth it just to go for the Overheat here into the Landorus slot. Oh man, I'm not sure if I can win this game at this point. It really comes down to this Landorus' item, I think. And I mean really down to... Oh, Incineroar switches out in a Charizard. It really comes down to, I think it's a Scarf, because if it's not Scarf, Overheat might be able to pick up the knockout. If it's AV though, it might survive, which is also problematic. Although I think I could see Z Landers on this team. So it really just comes down to this, I think. If I knock out Landers with Overheat, it's the game for sure. If I outspeed. Snorlax will protect. I'm going to protect just in case it is Scarf, because I think it gives me another out. It was Scarf Landers. I could have just overheated the last turn. That's so bad. If I had Rock Slide, I could actually be in this, but right now it's not looking too good. I can go my own Landers, but I know it's Timid Zard. This does not look good. There are two plays my opponent can make. That's going for a Rock Slide, Fire type move, or you could go for switch out. Actually, no. If you assume I have Rock Slide, you wouldn't make the Incineroar play. I can't beat this Landis 1v1 though. Oh yeah, I couldn't beat the Landis 1v1 because if Charizard gets any hit on my Landis, I lose the game instantly. I'm gonna attempt to double because spread might matter. Fail the double. Rock Slide. I wonder if my opponent was just trying to bluff the a non-Scarf Landers there. Let's see. Do we see miss? Okay. We're back in this game, I think. Okay. The overheat miss saves me, but I'll take that for sure. Alright. Overheat miss. Landers gonna... Incineroar gonna come out, so I'm gonna be at -1. We're both -1. We're gonna see the fake out here 100% in a Rock Slide just to try to chip me. The question... I think it's just gonna come down to... flinches, maybe. Well, I'm also lower on health. That's a thing. I don't know. I might have to PP stall this Landis, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. We've seen 2 Rock Slides. This is going to be the 3rd one. I don't think I can PP stall it out. I think I'm going to have to go for some misses. And I also have to dodge the flinch chance, because most likely this Landis is going to outspeed me. I am bulky though, so that does give me a little bit of hope, but I'm going to have to take a Rock Slide here. And if it flinches me, it's game over, because Incineroar gets a Flare Blitz off. Rock Slide, connects. And he... Well, I already hoped... And flinch! But then again, I did avoid the overheat and a comeback, but... Man... I guess I should have just went with my gut, assumed it was going to be Scarf Landers, because in team preview, I had a really big hunch it was Scarf Landers, but I guess I should have just went for the Landers, because if I overheated the Landers, that was game. There was nothing my opponent could do. If I connect. If I connect overheat, my opponent couldn't do anything in the back. Because I still had my own Landers healthy, as well as my Charizard was like at 81%. So yeah, you would have to overheat in order to knock it out. I don't think Crit Heat Wave would knock out my Charizard, but I'm not exactly too sure on that calc. But yeah, it really just came down to the mind game of was it Scarf Landers, and my opponent was able to bluff it successfully. So yeah, I guess I should have assumed and just went for the overheat. As we got Jade here from the United States of California. Hard rain. Like really hard rain. Jeez. Ironically, I think I'm bringing Mimilax for a 3rd time. I will bring Mimilax for a 3rd time. Actually, is there a point to bring Landorus? It's not really a point to bring Landorus. Accelgor's not that great either. I know I bring Charizard in the back. Do I just bring Lele for damage output? Or for a late game? Okay, let's go with these 4. So we're gonna see hard rain. I'm guessing Meowstic's gonna lead then. The reason I think Meowstic would lead is because it probably has Rain Dance, so that you would probably want to assume it's gonna be a Rain Dance abuser. So I think turn 1, what do I want to do? I think it depends on the lead. If it's Meowstic, I think I want to go for the taunt, attempt to taunt. Although Meowstic does tend to carry Mental Herb sometimes, or 50% berry. So Meowstic made Magic. Okay, I'm not really that scared of this lead. So that's perfectly fine by me. The problem is he might Volt Switch here. I also don't know if you have Trick Room on the Meowstic. I think it's actually worth it just to Trick Room myself here. Because I want to make sure that I don't put myself in a position if you Rain Dance, Volt Switch the Mimikyu, you get your Switch Room user and then you can KO the Mimikyu the following turn. While, there's so many options that my opponent has with the Meowstic. One, dual screens, Reflect and Light Screen can go up. Which I guess shouldn't matter too much because of the fact that my Snorlax is still going to be able to do a lot of damage to my opponent's team. I also will still have the Z Destiny Bond intact. There's also the problem of this Meowstic carrying Charm as well, but I guess that's easier to deal with. Vega's just going to come out into the Snorlax actually, which is fine. Did you really just go for Thunder out of Rain when that was super unnecessary? Let me just tell you, that was super unnecessary. I'll definitely take that though. I'm gonna go for the Taunt in the Meowstic and a Belly Drum. I don't get why you went for the Thunder immediately. I feel like you should have Volt Switch on the Manetric. But okay. Fake Out does stop my Belly Drum, which is fine. We're gonna see the Meowstic switch out here into the Amistar actually. Huh. I really am not knowing what to expect here. We'll get my Snorlax, you know, healthy, and then what, Volt Switch here? Are you actually gonna Volt Switch, or are you gonna just go for Thunder out of Rain again? Go for Thunder out of Rain. Thunder's a bad move, guys. Hydro Vortex won't knock out my Snorlax 100%. It might be just worth it to Shadow Claw here instead of going for the Neverending Nightmare. I was thinking Neverending Nightmare could put the Amistar in return range, but I don't think that's worth it. I guess my opponent's saying, hey, he or she is saying, hey, if I can't hit Thunders, there's no point in playing this game. But using Rain, you're already probably relying on Hydro Pump. Thunder, you're the one who decided to go for Thunder out of Rain when I think it was really unnecessary. I think you had an easy Volt Switch there. Or if you wanted to, you could have just Rain Dance turn 1. Of course, I think Fake Out was fine, but I don't feel like you go for Thunder immediately. But I guess we'll pick up 3 wins. I guess Mimikyu Snorlax was just too strong. But anyway, I think that's going to be a wrap. Thank you all for tuning in today's episode of VGC 2018 Back to Battles. A little bit of an abrupt ending, but that is 3 battles, and we kind of got into it. We saw an Amistar come into the screen, and then, you know, nothing really happened. But yeah, the team report should be going up tomorrow because I'm about 80% done with editing it. So hope everyone will enjoy it. I put in a lot of work for this this team analysis video that I'm doing. So I hope everyone will enjoy it. But otherwise, if you want to check out my other stuff, such as my live streams on Twitch, you can check them out in the description down below alongside my Twitter and all that good stuff. Previous episodes of VGC 2018 Back to Battles. If you do want to support this video and myself, please leave a like on the video. It does show your support, especially if you like this video. And feel free to leave a comment down below as I do read them. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. Have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.